Person of interest today is also an interesting one. We are joined by an individual who's taken a remarkable journey all the way from boardroom to the Himalayas. This is Anish, a former corporate CEO and a successful entrepreneur who left it all behind to pursue a deeper spiritual quest. After over a decade of intense spiritual practices, he's now a spiritual teacher, a humanitarian, leadership mentor, author, and a public speaker. So what exactly made him ditch the boardroom, go all the way on his spiritual quest? He joins us on the program now. Good morning, Anish ji. Thank you so much for speaking with us and joining us this morning. What a day to be having this conversation. Before I get into and sort of pick your brains a little bit on my own spiritual quest that I want to follow, I want to understand your calling. What took you away from being this very successful CEO, ditch the boardroom and go all the way to the Himalayas?
I think I had seen very early on in my career, got a lot of success early on. I was very blessed and lucky. And I had seen the whole format of the corporate world. I was CEO at the age of 27. I was raising money, investing in companies by the age of 29. And that whole format seemed a little out of tune. And I wanted to explore a little more deeper in life. What is this life all about? Is there something beyond this script or this format that we know? Is there something beyond this format also? Are there different ways to live a fulfilling life? So as we say, what is the true essence and meaning of life? That's what I really wanted to explore, which we call the spiritual journey, the spiritual quest. And that's what took me away from the boardroom to the Himalayas for good 10, 12 years. That was a time of incognito.
Nice. So, Anish ji, I have to say this, that, a lot of people think about it. You are actually somebody who did it, but you have family, you have kids, you have wife. You have gone from being a CEO to very visibly gone through a transition and looking like one as well. So how did it go at home? How did the family take this transition? It mustn't have been easy.
So I was married when I took this call. I had a son who was just about 2, 3 years old. And of course, my parents and extended family. So my wife really supported this, and she said, no matter what, I'm going to be around you. And the kid was too small to understand what was really going on. They are very, you can mold them in either ways when they are very young. So my wife and my child, they said that we want to be in the Himalayas. We won't disturb your meditation practices or the sadhana that you want to, but we want to be around. So they chose to be there where I was, and I was sometime few days I would be with them, and few days I would be in the Agyatwas, as they call it, which is in the solitude. But of course, the larger family, your relatives, your parents, it's very tough and difficult for them. Actually, it's difficult for your immediate family, your wife, your child also, because you're suddenly changing the entire script. From the known zone of life, you are entering into an absolute unknown zone of life. And there's a huge, we've been trained to be, to look like, is the future secure? That's what we're trying to do throughout our life. And here suddenly you are taking a decision where she's saying, nothing is secure in life. Now let's explore who we are. So part of the family supported, part of the family were absolutely against this madness, they called it. But now they are all in love with me. They all are in absolute support. They become part of the ashram.
All right. So let's shift focus to mental health now after having understood your journey. What, according to you, today is the reason for this heightened mental health issues that we are seeing around us all the time? As somebody who's been on the other side, who's been in the workforce, what are your takeaways?
So, one thing is very sure. You see, we are part of nature, Sonal. We are not part of technology. Technology is part of us, part of our life. We are not part of the technology. We are part of nature. If you look at a human being, you know, uh, we've come from the Panchabhutas, the five elements. Now, whenever, and these five elements, the earth, water, air, sky, and fire, these five elements, Shonal, if they are out of balance, your system is going to feel absolute stress for sure. You can't run away from that. If these five elements, which are the base of your existence, your whole body mind is made up of that. If that's out of sync, the stress is going to come to you. You're going to experience stress. Now, what is really happening, the way we've created the life around us, we've moved too far away from the natural systems, and we've moved too much into the technology systems. That's where the fault lines are. It is surely going to give us huge amount of stress. And believe you me, Sonal, stress has become a very common word, but it is a very dangerous word, by the way. We don't really understand. You say people are more aware about stress. I don't think so. People have been using the word stress a lot. I don't think they're really aware about what stress is all about, what it does to you. People are not aware about that. What is the reason and what is the end result of this? I don't think people are really aware about the magnitude of the problem today. It's going to come to us, it's already coming to us in a massive way. Now, I don't think we are prepared to handle this. Us as individuals, our institutions, our medical systems, I don't think we are really ready to handle the onslaught which is just going to come to us now. It's on the doorsteps, knocking.
Yeah. Yeah. We've identified the problem, but Anishji, the thing is not everybody can leave family, work, ambitions, aspirations behind and go to the hills. Do you have some takeaways for us, lesser mortals, on how to handle stress?
Few things on this, Sonal, as the fundamental points. First of all, let's understand what stress is all about. Stress basically means our inability to handle something. Yeah. You go to a gym and on first day, if you do heavy weights, your muscles are not ready to handle that. And then for next 10 days, your muscles will surely ache. So every muscle of your body needs to build that resilience. It happens slowly. And then you're able to handle heavy weight, the stress of heavy weights. Your muscles are able to handle that. So it's number one. Stress is the inability to handle the situations around us. Yeah, I gave you the example of the body. Similarly, your mind also have muscles and they need to be trained to handle the pressure. If they're not trained to handle the pressure, they will experience enormous amount of stress. That's fundamental. Number one. Number two, look at the way we are treating we're talking about work. Let's look at the way we are treating our work, Sonal. There are two words I want to share with you and the audience here. There are two words in Hindi. One is called Karam Kshetra, the field of work. The other word is called Yuddha Kshetra, the battlefield. Now we've just gone confused with that. We've converted our Karam Kshetras, which is the field of work, into Kurukshetras, or the battlefield. Your offices, your boardrooms are not battlefield. I've seen many organizations, we call it war rooms. I'm sorry, they're not war rooms. Your office, your chair, your desk, your meeting rooms is the field of your karma, field of work. They're not battlefield. This understanding, we need to really put that understanding into every boss and every subordinate. We're not at war. Our offices, our institution is not a war zone. We are not at war. Please understand this.
All right. Don't turn workplace into war zones. That's a good takeaway and a good perspective to keep in mind. A good way to start the day as well. Thank you so much, Anishji, for joining us this morning and sharing all those insights. All right, on that note, we've talked a lot about work. It's time to talk about all the play, but that's coming up on the other side. As the festive season kicks in, we'll tell you all about maintaining a healthy balance, and also we've got some laughs. See you